that look, trust me, if you don't have Anubis on your friends list, you definitely want to add it.
Hostile broadcast picked up.
That build is phenomenal. I'll take my hat off. I thought I was good at making builds and thinking outside the box. That is way outside of the box.
Yeah.
Way outside. And look, kudos to him, man. I mean, I'm man enough to admit that somebody made a better build than me. Usually I'm helping you. Yeah, hop on, do a share play, hook your build up. He went way above and beyond and just literally put words together. It was a word math problem. So you know how you get math problems and they give you, if you're traveling from A at this, that's what he did.
Train from Pittsburgh.
He took it to geometry or something. You know what I mean? He took it to calculus. He took it to a calculus level build. And I'm like, but it's fun to play with him because of this, where it's like, yo, where you going? Let's run this. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. I'm changing up my build and play style to match his build.
Right.
And that's what this game is all about. Instead of just everybody running the DPS build, I'm running this. Let's synchronize them together and see what damage we can do. Where that's where the game was. We kept complaining, oh, they nerfed this, they nerfed that. What they did was change it up where 3-4 people shouldn't just be running an all red build. Yeah. One or two people run this. Like
more team oriented.
Like Future Initiative gives the entire team weapon damage boost. Right. So I'm thinking about that with his build. Now what are we really looking at? Like I haven't run a raid with him yet with this build, and I'm looking forward to it. We just haven't been able to put it together because everybody's time and schedule is off. This guy's over here, this guy's over here, this guy hasn't played in a while. Everybody's off. I can't wait to see what this does. I want to put a nemesis on one of these bosses in a raid. I want to put it right on his head as soon as he's marked. And I want to let that thing go fully charged. And I want to see 147 million if it kills him in one shot. I want to see it. I can't wait for that.
Well, all I want to say is, like, I know we're talking about the amplification build that I've been working really hard for the last couple weeks, almost a month. All I got to say is I made the prototypes. I tested out all 3 versions, skill, armor, and DPS.
Right.
I have the same build and those same 3 different core attributes. Now, why did I make them 3? Because I wanted to test out, all right, which one would benefit me the most. Now, obviously, I'm gonna go hands down with DPS and skill because you're late. They got their pros and cons.
Right.
And the tank one's good. It is. It's more of like, for example, if I don't want to be the guy out there doing damage, I'll let somebody else do it, and then I'll be tanky so I have more survivability. But this build that I specifically made, I've shown it to a couple people. The first thing they've told me, they're like, it's a weird build. It has a lot of steps to it.
Right.
But that's the thing. When you're a support player, you have a lot of steps. You gotta make sure your teams are getting the buffs. You gotta make sure that you're healing your team. You're making sure that everything, each little detail of your build covers everybody.
All your talents, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mostly this build, I try to make it mostly for the raid. Like in PvP, it works, but it's a little difficult to use because with the whole strafing, it's a little bit.
Right.
It just takes more time.
Right.
To activate, but it's, to be honest with you, if you think about it and you start adding up of how much it does, we're talking about a 48% more amplified damage. And
That's insane.
It's crazy because it not only like one half of the build is for amplified damage, the other half is the straight up Achilles pulse.
Right.
Straight up. That's it. Like I even made just one specific for the Achilles pulse. I get it. It says it very descriptive. It says it's for solo snipers and support skill builds, right? Obviously for the supports, it's a lot easier because you got skill haste. A lot more skill haste, you'll get it back faster. when you're doing it with a red build and you're solo sniper, you got to invest in a lot of headshot damage for it to actually do something. Like if you put crit damage, you're just going to get to a normal base number and that's it.
Right.
But when you put headshot damage, you hit that guy in the body somewhere, his armor is going to fly. Like I tell you something, I went to the DZ, I used the Achilles pulse on my sniper build. I hit the guy literally like 7.9 on a knee, not fully charged nemesis with the Achilles pulse. I just sat there. I was like, okay, that's with crit chance. Let me go put a headshot damage one. We're talking about 70 mil on an NPC player. I don't even know how much I can go with the player.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember when you took us, you're like first testing this all out, and we're running Iron Horse, and we're running Boss 3. And I remember there's about 75% left of the armor bars. And then in about 5 seconds, all the armor is gone.
Melted.
Crazy how fast that ball.
Like I said, that is super, super kudos. That is way outside the box. So you're talking about 48, 50% amplified damage. Now, mind you, that says nothing about what my so-called build is already doing. I've tried it on a sniper, and I think what they had in mind when they did this was more the scalpel than the nemesis or mantis. Because I tried it on a red build. Somebody's in cover and I pulse him. I don't know where that mark is going to be. And if he's just peeking his head out, but the mark isn't there, I'm not getting the damage. Then it takes 50 seconds for it to come back. But if the person next to me is running it with more of a build dedicated to that skill haste and that pulse, I'm in the clear to just let loose because now he's got 6 body parts marked. And all I got to do is tap him.
Yep.
9 times out of 10, his head is going to be part of that 6 body.
And at DZ, it's only 3. Max is 3.
Max is 3. Is players too?
Yeah. In PvP, it's 3 maxed, and even if you overcharge it, it's still 3. In PvE, it's 6. They in other words, they nerfed it because it was going to be too powerful.
OP. Yeah.
Because these markers that you get, they're really, if you're wearing a skill build, they're very easy to see.
Yeah.
You can hit them anywhere. You don't have to hit them exactly in the dot. But with a PvP build, all reds, it's not going to be like that. You have only 1. That's where you have to hit them. That's where you'll get the extra damage boost. With a skill build, you'll get 3, and you can hit them anywhere of those 3 marked areas. And it's a big square, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Actually, to be able to get that amplified damage. And not only that, in PvE, it has a lot of, it has duration. Like, I've used it a couple of times. It has a lot of duration. It is hard if you don't have a solid group that has the deeps. It's really hard to use it because it requires your group to be raid ready, hands down raid ready. They know what they're doing. They have the crit damage to everything. If I'm running it with another person, it has to be somebody that I know that they know what they're doing. That I can at least just stay back, keep firing, amplifying them. So, for example, Mayhem, I was just sitting back while shooting and he saw that they were amped. He went up to the guy, boom, the guy would blow up and that's it. So just keep going.
What also is done is making our raids that we help to get people, whatever, the EB or the RAV, it's making our raid runs a lot easier. Just making up for their lack of DPS. You're bringing them up a level where they're kind of just hitting with a pretty decent build. You're taking the hit for it, but you're making the team better overall, which has definitely helped us out getting these clears quicker. And we don't have to stress as much covering that person's position with overwatching them and stuff. It's been a hell of making runs a lot easier.
It changes everything. Agreed. Changes everything. Changes the whole game of how you see it and how you play it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I say, kudos to him because it never dawned on me to put something like this together. I know of certain little amplified little talents and things, little tricks, but nothing to this level. And like I said, I take my head off. I mean, I can easily sit back and be like, yo,
and I've had people, that I sat there, explained to them, you need to do this, you need to do that. They sit there, and when I finished talking, the first thing they said, man, you make my head hurt just by doing, like, thinking about all the stuff I need to do. I need to farm for this year. I need to change this. I need to optimize this. I need to have this specialization. I need to have this gun. I need to have this certain attribute to be able to use this build. They sit there and they just hear it about it, and they're like, it doesn't make me want to make it because it's just too long.
Right.
It's I put something up on the Discord where that's the name of the game is grind. I agree. If you just got everything you were looking for instantly, how much would you play this game? I'm trying to get to the point where I'm not doing builds anymore and I'm just free running.
Right.
Like, yeah, if it drops, I'm sharing it. I'm trying to get there. Right now, I'm probably 2 pieces away from that. Actually, probably now 2, because I'm trying to change my explosive build. And I'm curious with Mad Bomber on the chess piece for that. I can tell you this, that I've done the explosive build with 2-piece Grupo, 1-piece China Light, and it still doesn't hit as hard as like a 1-piece China Light, 3-piece Empress Guard. That skill efficiency is the most powerful skill part in the game. I don't run a Memento backpack with it, but if I throw that on with more skill efficiency, I hit harder. Yeah. I want to see what it does with Mad Bomber on that, because everything in the explosive build is bombs. Boom. I want the radius bigger. I want to see this. And so I'm looking for a chess piece with Mad Bomber on it. Second thing, I'm just trying to increase my healer build. So I'm looking for a backpack, a new Alp Summit backpack, little things like that. Other than that, I'm just collecting gear and crushing it. So a level 50 does sound good where I'm all of that scratched. Let's start all over. It does put you in that I'm starting all over. We're playing again. Everybody starts from ground zero. Who can get to where they need to go the fastest? Me, like I said, for me personally, it's too much. But one character, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I would buy the DLC. I would play and farm again. Will I do it? I don't know. It depends on when it comes out. It depends on what's going on in my personal life in regards to when it comes out, how much I can play. How much do I want to play? Because a lot of it are people I've done this for 2 years. I'm bored. That's the main thing you hear, is that we want new content. Does the new DLC really? Yes, it'll be the new content in the DLC, but outside of that, are you back to farming Summit? Are you back to farming DCD? Are you back to farming Capitol Hill outside of the DLC? Because like right now, if you think about it, how often do you go to New York?
Never.
Most of the time.
That's why it's important that with this, if they increase the level cap, obviously we're gonna have some 10 levels of story mode. But if they don't throw any additional in-game content out, the game will die, because people run through the story and then like, yeah, but I'm not gonna go max all my builds back up. I'll enjoy the story, end it, know what's going on, but beyond that, I'm not making all these builds all over again.
Right, and there's the catch-22 with that. Like, yeah, I'll buy the DLC, yeah, I'll play it, but how much further will you go? Because it's not just what comes with the DLC; it's what comes behind it.
Yep.
What's on the other side? Are you talking about more seasons, more manhunts?
Exactly.
All right, I'll come back. I'll join in 2 weeks when the manhunt's available. Other than that,
Yep.
And then on top of it, some people are so tired of it that they just throw the thing on normal and fly right through it.
Yep.
Get right through it. Like the game shouldn't feel like a job. It should feel like I'm getting away from my job and just having fun and playing, where you've built this into a job where another manhunt. But for me to know the story, I got to do it. Yep. For me to get this weapon, I got to do it. People are deterred by that. So based on the rumor, yeah, you got the DLC, but what is behind that? Another raid? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Who's going to be in it? Is it going to be hyenas? Is it going to be outcasts this time? Because that's how we were looking at it when the first raid came out. All right, we got Black Tusk. then it took so long for that second raid that it delayed everything, where we were expecting a raid per faction. Okay, when are we going to get outcasts?
Yeah.
When are we going to get hyenas? When are we going to get cleaners? When are we going to get all of these different types of raids, which could have kept your game alive? But on the other side, you had to put matchmaking on your raid for that to work, and you didn't. And that killed a lot of people off, where they're like, I'm never getting the Eagle Bear. I don't have 8 people to do this with.
Right.
I'll never get the Ravenous. I don't have 8 people to do this with. Why is there no matchmaking? And then you do the matchmaking, and I still can't get the gun. Because, I can play the raid, but there's no opportunity for me to get the gun unless you screw up an update and it's dropping in Discovery. We'll keep that quiet. But that's it. So people were deterred from that. Then it's the PvP side. Like, okay, you come out with this DLC, you have to do another area of PvP. Problem is, we've heard what they've said, where we were begging for them to, look, this little amount of people you're letting in these small little areas is not fun to us. Increase the number of people that can go in. And they literally straight told us, no, we cannot do it. Not because we can't program it, but what we were granted for hardware can't handle it. So you go from 20 million down to 10. Company looks at that. All right, look, you don't need the funding that you had for this one because you only sold half. It didn't increase. You didn't go from 20 to 30. You went down. That's a trend down. Business-wise, financially, I'm not going to put money into unless you put a put option on it where, okay, I think this stock is going to crash. As me being the CEO, and I look at your numbers are nowhere near what they were here. The bar is going down. The graph is going down. I'm not going to invest more into something that's declining. I'm going to invest less. Matter of fact, give me some of my money out before I take a total loss.
Right.
That's business 101. Make money. So I get it. Put out a DLC, push us to 50, but you really have to focus on what comes behind it.
Yep.
Then you also have to think about the balance. Like you said, that balance is the biggest thing, because you can't just say, okay, level cap 50. Now all the gears got to change.
All rework.
You know what I mean? You got to take out Intimidate and Adrenaline Rush, because so many people complained about the Lady Death. You got to take that out. Now the Lady Death is dead. Nobody uses the gun. You know what I mean? Like, it's that balance, like you said, that looter shooter balance is almost impossible to do. The only way to do it is literally have 2 separate games in one game. If I go into the DZ, I have to have a DZ build, like literally a DZ build, not just saying this build works in the DZ and it works in PvE. It's literally, you can only have and find this gun in the DZ. You can only, if you jump over, item is missing. Make a build. You know what I mean? Like, that is almost a survival type of thing where you got to go in there, get your loot to make your builds.
I like that.
That changes. Now you have 2 different games, but it's still the same game. Once you jump over this wall, it's survival. Go find your pistols again. Go find this. Get it out of there. Extract it. Now that specifically can only be used in this area.
That's badass.
And that changes everything. Where now you have balance. Now the Lady Death can't be in the DZ, but they have something. The apartment is DZ.
Right.
That I found that, man, this thing is melting people. You know how many people would run into the DZ to try to get this gun, but they would have to survive. That's what survival was. You still had NPCs, but you had to start all over, where you just go in with some socks on. You had to find clothes, you had to find weapons, you had to build those weapons. That's why people were clamoring for it, because that's really how the world would be. If it all fell apart right now, all of us would scramble I got to get to this gun shop. Then you got to start learning. I got to clean this. How do I make my own bullets? Because bullets aren't going to last forever. Like, that's what survival is. So I got why people were really into it. That is a way that you can separate the 2. This is specifically for this. And a lot of people would only play PvP. I got builds for PvP. I'm good. I'll go to PvE when I'm bored. My friends aren't on yet. I'll go fool around with that, make a couple little builds. But this is specifically what I want to do. And then you still have the world for PvE. And if you separate the 2, you don't have people complaining that, oh man, the dark zone is this. You know what it is once you jump over that wall and you activate and that watch goes hazy. You know what you're getting into. I shouldn't be able to go to New York City, get an exotic, bring it into the DZ, or even worse, go into the raid, get the exotic, bring it into the DZ. Because once I got the Eagle Bear, this guy can't get into the raid. He doesn't have enough friends. I'm melting him. Yeah, that's imbalanced. That is unfair. I get it. So, that's the best way that I could see 2 games in one, and you keep it separated. You already have DZ exclusives. You already have the blueprint for it. You've done it. I can't get y'all gear anywhere else. I can only go get it in the DZ. There are DZ specific items, like you can only get the apartment in the DZ. Now you got named caches now where it'll drop for you. But the rock and roll, you only get that in PvP type things. Okay, well, that specifically can only be used in PvP. If you do it like that, you got 2 different games and you're satisfying everybody. Everybody's happy because me as a PvP player, I'm good. Everything that I get out here is strictly for PvP or PvE. I don't like PvP. You got your PvP players. Here's my build. And it changes everything because I farm out here, get all this stuff, and then go in there. It makes it even where I found this in the DZ and you did it. I got it out of here. You did it. So I deserve to be powerful. And you don't have to nerf anything. Like go into DZ, you got to survive, fix it, find what you want to find. So, I mean, that's the only way that I can see it being balanced. That's the only way. You can't allow things that are exclusive to this group where I do raids, I get the Eagle Bear, this guy only does PvP, but my gun is much more powerful than anything he's found. And I'm melting with no problem.
Yeah, not fair.
That's the only way I can see the balance being, because other than that, what else do you do? Because it's everything I'm finding, I'm just coming in and wiping. Then Anubis always said this point, and I 100% agreed with him, where you shouldn't be able to inspect somebody that killed you. You should not be able to look at their gear.
No, that's a terrible feature they added.
Yeah, you should not be able to see it because it does. Oh, he put me down with this screenshot. I know exactly what he did now.
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
now you got 60 people in there running the same build. Now, you can't really help that with content creators where they have a really good day.
Yeah, they'll post their shit.
Right. But you shouldn't be able to inspect. That changes. That would change everything. Yeah, like, man, what the hell did he hit me with?
Yeah, no brain power behind it. He just screenshot.
Yeah, now I got to get my game up. Man, I got to put some armor on or something. He just killed me with like 4 bullets.
Yeah.
It changed. But now, you put me down? What are you wearing? Lady Death. All blue bill. Okay, gotcha.
It was like this one guy in the DZ when I was testing out the support amplification build in the DZ for the first time. This guy, I joined and then I didn't say anything. He straight up looked at my build. He's like, that's a really interesting build. I'd never seen this build made like this. And I was like, yep. And then he's like, can you explain to me what it does? And I tell you, I've had more than 20 people ask me, explain me your build. Explain me your build. And I had to go all over again, the whole process of explaining what this does. And then he's like, all right, let's go put it in the test. I put a team. It was me. It was me, a healer. We had a guy that was using Lady Death, obviously, up front. And then we had another DPS guy that he had, he was doing mid-range, a little bit long range. And we were playing close combat. So basically we're just staying in the circle of my my booster hive.
Mm-hmm.
I put out the booster hive. They're getting that buff, weapon handling. They're getting the hazard protection because these guys that we're fighting with, they were using status builds. Like here comes Ridgeway chest piece with bleed and people going nuts with it, right? I put that build. I put the hive down. Once I put the hive down, they got the buff, and I start shooting. I'm telling you, I'm shooting from a big amount of distance with the Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And because that gun has range.
Fun.
It's literally it has range. I'm shooting and I have all these guys on the opposite team all stacked up with all the stuff that you can think of, the status, the amplification and everything. As soon as I used the Achilles pulse on that guy, I told him focus on this guy that has the Achilles pulse. 2 shots, the guy was dead. Dead. gone, dead. Like, and we're talking about, and when I inspect the guy had at least like 1.6 mil of armor.
Jesus.
At
Hey,
least.
we got less than a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
It's another. Fuck out. I gotta look into getting the goddamn pro, I guess. Jesus. Yeah.
All right.
We're just gonna have to drop it.
Before we wrap up or anything, I do want to say this about Anubis. Helping him get that build, that is a difficult build to get. Like, you really have to get lucky with certain things to drop. The optimization table helps, but that build is a hard build. I can see why it took him so long to get it, because it's a rarity that what he was looking for dropped the way it dropped. It does, but it's hard. And once you get it and look, trust me, if you don't have Anubis on your friends list, you definitely want to add it. And I can't wait to use my sniper build with him, because I think I got about 320. I say it all the time, even when you guys aren't in a group chat, I'll still tell the guys, like, yo, that is an incredible feat to have that much dedication, not just to the game, but just to your fellow man that you barely know. Hey, you joined up with us, you're looking for this, I'm going to help you do it. And that's the joy you get out of this game. That's incredible to me. That I don't have the patience. I barely had the patience to carry somebody in my clan, let alone just somebody new. Like, yo, you guys help me out. So that's phenomenal. I love helping people to get what they're looking for. Like, it was fun helping Anubis put this build together, because I saw where he was going with it. I saw what he was trying to do, and I'm selfish. It benefited me. Like, yo, just running with you makes my raid times faster because of this one build. But it was more so of the thinking outside the box. Like, I want to see what this thing can do when it's at full power. I'm curious myself. Am I going to put one together? No, because like I said, I got enough builds where I'm done making builds. I'm just trying to max them out now. I got a little something of everything. I'm good with that. This
and the build's not done.
Level. Yeah,
the build's not done. Like, it's not fully optimized. Like, I'm still missing skill haste for it. But to be honest with you, once I max it out, it should be like in close to the 140% skill haste.
Nice.
Almost.
Instantly pulse.
Yeah.
Pulse. Hit him. Like, yo, I'm reloading, man. I can't hit him. I'm telling you, if you're watching this stream, definitely get a run-in with Anubis with this build, and it will change your outlook on builds, and two, how powerful we actually are in this game. I heard a lot of complaints of the damage cap and they're nerfing us. They didn't nerf us. They just relocated what you needed and put it into a different format. I remember, and I'm bringing up another content creator, where Cold Boy put out a video and said, look, when we're in the DZ, this guy's running survivalist. This guy is running gunner. This guy is running sharpshooter, because this one talent benefits us. This other talent benefits us. Benefits us. Like, that was the hugest thing, where, like, look, we're getting 10% extra damage just because he's running this. We're getting 5% reload speed just because he's running this, and we're in a group. Yeah. And right there, it just dawned on me, like, that's where it dawns on you that you have to work together in this game. They definitely made it team oriented. I do a lot of things solo because at my particular time, people might not be on. People might be at work. I'm at home. I'm used to running it solo because I didn't have that many people, but then I met a lot of people through this game. So I get it. And what Anubis has done is taken what he said and taken it to a whole nother level, where you don't have to specifically run something. Just me running this makes you stronger. And the one piece, and this is what I was saying right before we got cut, was that I can't wait, and I haven't used it yet. I want to use my sniper build with this build, because I'm hitting at, like, I think it's 340% headshot damage. He marks somebody, and I use this nemesis.
Game over.
I might hit him for 100 million. Like, I can't wait to play with it. And I've seen screenshots of people using and their builds are nothing like his. I've seen people take screenshots where they hit a target for 147 million with the Achilles Pulse, with the specific boost that you get. Who's going to survive 147 million hit? You hit Boomer, he's standing right up. He's standing right up. Right. It's going to look like you got the damage because he's standing right up. Like, ooh, that hurt. I'm moving. Like, it's going to be quick. So I want to see when it's maxed out, and then I got my builds, and we actually decide, like we did the other night, go into conflict, and we got this thing actually working the way we want it to work. We'd be in there wrecking people because that build is that good. I want people to see it. I want to say what it is, but it's not my place to do so. Some people know what it is, and when you see it, it's so far out of the box. Like, wow, I never even thought about making it. I never even thought about putting this with this and this and this and this and this and what it does. So
it's a blessing to have in the raids.
Right. And just meeting people that are more interested in just, okay, I got a DPS build, all red build, let's go play.
Mm-hmm.
This game is a build. It's a build-oriented game. You have to put a build together. You can't just slap some pieces together and say, all right, I got to build. No, Wait a minute. You got one piece hardwire, one piece group ensemble, one piece Seska. What are you running here? What are you trying to do? Because one piece hardwire does nothing for you. Why is this even on your build? Like, I've seen people slap stuff together like that because they don't get, this is more than just run and gun. It's not Call of Duty where you just pick up a gun, shoot somebody, you're done. I got to put this helmet, I got to put this mask, with this glove, with this knee pad, with this chest piece. And that's interesting. That's what keeps us playing. That's where it stays fresh. That's where it keeps us grinding for that next piece of gear to make us stronger. And that's where I'm addicted to it. Because I'm like, I felt like I was thinking outside of the box. Like my Hunter's Fury build was completely different from what everybody else was running. And mine is more survival, but I hit extremely hard with it. And I love it because it's the run and gun style. I recently made a Strikers build in the same format that it fires at such a high rate of fire that I can run any gun with it and melt because there's so many bullets. And I'm not just jumping on the Vector because that's 1,200 RPM. I'm talking about my Eagle Bearer is almost shooting 1,000 RPMs now. Just from this build, putting it together.
Put the foul on that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm flying through things because it's just like, it's just, it's automatic where instead of you just catching this boom, 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 you're catching boom, boom, dead. Let's move on. And I put it for more survival where I can run a gun. I can take this into the DZ, but as soon as I say that, I'm starting to see more striker builds popping up in conflict with the FALs. I'm like, they took it.
Well, all I'm gonna say is like going a little bit further back with the whole the build that I have that's helping. I assume that when you put out your sniper build, it's with the specialization of sharpshooter, correct?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because it says here on your specialization, it says all group members that are closer to the enemies, then you get 10% headshot damage. That's another buff that I would benefit from you, and that would increase the whole amplification stuff for me. Mm-hmm. And it's like all these specializations, they all combine together, they work. You just gotta figure out which ones to put. Like, to be honest with you, like today I was just reading. All I do is read of the talents that are in the game, and then I start like trying to like connect them all both together. Like, for example, overclock. I'm just there like just thinking about it. All right, what can I put with overlock that would benefit my team? To be honest to you, you can have from both sides. You put a turret in a certain location where all these players are going to be at. Like, for example, I put the turret in the back, in the middle, and basically, the turret's going to shoot something else. But if agents are near that turret, 7 meters, just shooting the back of the weak points on Razorback. Once they reload, they're getting a 25% reload speed enhance. Mm-hmm. They're gonna reload super fast, and they'll be able to do more DPS on that point.
Yep.
If you go ahead and put your like Reviver Hive up front, they're getting the same talent too.
Yep.
Right.
It's like it's the purpose is now for me. Like, I got tired. Like I said, I've gotten tired of having all these solo builds that only focuses, like, it only works on me.
Right.
I want it to work for the whole group. So then when the group feels like, man, I wish we can do something different. This side already has 25% more reload. This side has more. And just imagine a guy that has a full, like not a full striker, but has a 3-piece striker, and he's doing deeps with that 25%. That guy's he gets an additional 5% per kill.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're talking about that guy's going to go skyrocket and reloading and shooting.
Yeah.
And it's really easy how to do it. It's like you just got to lose a little bit of something so everybody else gains a lot.
Yep.
Right.
A little sacrifice for a lot of benefit.
And how many people do you hear, or how many videos or how many pictures have you seen anybody using overclock at all? Well, rarely anybody. It's rare. That's a rare talent to hear someone using it all. I get it, why you would use it. I mean, like you said, you just, if anybody's ever done a striker build and pushed a lot of weapon handling, it's literally a reload of a click of a button. They don't pull the piece out. It's like they just click a button and it's fully reloaded. Like when I first started running it, I was running it with the Chameleon. The guy would literally just go down like for like a split second, and he wouldn't pull the clip out, wouldn't put another clip in. It looked like he was just hitting a button. It was futuristic where it was reloading. It was like,
yeah.
Done. Like he was just literally just pushing the button because it was so fast. I recently started playing, what is that talent? I've always played with fast hands on my LMGs, especially with Williams, because I can literally flip, click, 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 because I'm critting him. Like I'm hitting Williams so much that is just building up. So I've told people, like, use the good times, man, that fast hands. So you had that fast hands with his overclock and how fast you're shooting and that rate of fire, and you're using it with an all-red build, a crit DPS, you're gonna melt. So I mean, that thinking outside of the box of working together. And the sad thing is you just don't see that. And I don't know if it's on Massive side because the matchmaking is difficult.
Yeah, it has to be dedicated crews running together. Yeah.
Right. You gotta have at least 3 other people that you work with, talk about builds. You do most of the game together. You gotta have that many people doing it. So like I said, if it goes to 50, we'll have to see. Like we really would have to see. I see it going to 50. I don't know about all the other stuff, but I do see it going to 50 because it pushes people to start all over and play the game. I mean, they can easily squeeze a good another year out of that.
Yeah.
But what's to stop them from pushing it to 60 once that year's up and pushing it to 70?
There's no way.
Right. Like, I mean, but I've been through so many gear wipes where our gear became trash, dump it, rebuild again. The friend of mine that actually got me into Division doesn't even play Division 2 because by like 1.3, title update 1.3, they were wiping it again. You know what I mean? They were wiping the gear again. He's like, man, I'm tired of getting builds and doing all this work for it to mean nothing. Like I got tired of it. And it got boring to me. Like,
rinse, repeat.
And then he's popped back up recently, like, yo, man, how's the game looking? What do I got to do? I'm like, you got to have New York. Like, if you don't get New York, there's no point playing.
Yeah.
Like, there's 0 point playing. Outside of that, going to 50,
we got to wrap up, y'all. It's going to be a lot to have.
Yeah, you got like a 3-hour video. Like I said, man, we can talk about this all day, every day, because all of us come with so many different points of views and so many different angles of the game that, like, Anubis made me think outside of the box. Other people have made me think outside of the box with their builds. Like, yeah, that's interesting, but why not do this instead of this? I've had conversations with, the vibes, like, oh, your build is nice, but try it with this gear set or this group instead of this one. Okay, like, you're running it with, what was it, Golan? Try with Badger Tough, the same exact build, but instead of Golan, put Badger Tough right there and tell me what happens. And he was like, yeah, I see it because now you're getting that shotgun, but now you're also getting total armor. So you could put the same build together, but one little piece here, one little piece there could change everything. I like the conversation that we had today where it was outside of the box, where we're talking about builds to benefit others instead of, oh yeah, I got this DPS build. Everybody gets a red DPS build. That works for you. But if you don't know how to use it, I'm still dying. I'm still getting hit in the back of the head on the Razorback by naders because you're not putting your people down. I don't care what builds you got to be able to use it too. His build amplifies you, where now I don't have to worry about if you're struggling or not to put this guy down. But we do need new material to test our materials out, because, okay, I made this build. Let's say I've run DCD in 7 minutes. Well, now I'm making a build to run it in 6 minutes, 50 seconds. But what does that mean, 10-second shave time? But I take this build into DZ and get absolutely worked. Like, this has nothing to do with, like, you and I did, when we did Conflict, we were in there getting worked because those guys in Conflict have specific Conflict builds. This isn't Raid, this isn't this. But it would be interesting to see, okay, I got a mortar turret. He puts his turret next to mine, and now I'm amplified. Yeah. So how much damage am I really doing? Instead of hitting for 4 million, now I'm hitting for 5.5. That changes the aspect of the game. Like, yeah, let's run together. Let's definitely run together. I can't wait for him to put this out in public, because I've been impressed by builds, but this one was so far out of the box. I know I've been riding it just about the whole show, but it just really, it shocked me to think that way when he told me what it was and showed it to me. Because when he first told me, he showed me how it worked, but he didn't tell me what it was. And I'm like, man, this thing is like literally bosses with armor still left dropping dead. But then when I saw it, I'm like, I would have never thought about putting that together. I've thought of it this way and I've thought of it this way, but I've never thought of it the way you did it. And what you combined with it, it's impressive, man. I take my hat off to it. It's definitely impressive. I love talking builds with people. I go into Discord and I look into build inquiries all the time, because I want to see where people's minds are on what their builds are.
Right.
And you can ask Anubis, our clan, he's in the same clan I am, and my clanmates have complimented him on, like, yo, make sure he's in there and bring that build, because they've seen it amplify. Like, yeah, that build is nice. It is definitely outside of the box. Kudos, man. I got to come up with something now.
Well, my next build is based off on increasing, like, let's just say one day somebody else has the build, and I'm trying to make now a build that will benefit everybody, but mostly the DPSers. And sometimes when you're reloading, it's really slow. I'm focusing now on, like, it's kind of like a support build, but at the same time, I'm doing damage. And I'm leaning towards more with the firewall, because the firewall does have a specialization talent that if your agent buddies are right next to you, like 10 meters away, they get a 10% damage to targets out of cover.
Right.
Which that's if you start to think about it, that's a good combination with overclock, because they have to be 7 meters from your hive or your deployed skill, and if they're near you, they also get that additional buff as well.
Right.
Then after that, I'm just like trying to add more stuff that's going to actually benefit everybody. Obviously, it's always going to be a Scorpio in there, because Scorpio right now is talent is amazing.
Yeah.
And
people are speed running the raid even better now because of the Scorpio. I know you've been in that raid. I mean, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want Massive to change it, but that Scorpio is lethal in any format of this game. It's lethal. As a medic, it's lethal. As a skill guy, it's lethal. As a DPS, it's extremely lethal. As range, like Iggy said, I've actually hit a sniper. I'm on the back left, and I hit the sniper on the front right with the shot. Like, yo, that thing hit him. I just see the poison ticking away.
Right.
That thing is lethal. Hands down, one of the best guns in the game, and I love playing with it. You're the reason that I'm looking at amplifying my skill build, because I want to see what that future initiative does next to your build in a raid, because I'm giving amplified damage. So if we can push this thing to give everybody almost 100% amplified damage, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, because what is future? 15 to 25% amplified? I think it's 25, right? I think it's 4-piece future or something with the chest piece.
Backpack.
Chest
piece?
No, I think it goes. It goes from 15 to 25% of a damage increase, because I think the backpack was you get like 100 and something repair skill I forgot what it
Right.
was. But all I gotta say is this: I've seen all the talents proc. I've seen 3 people running 3 coyotes to have all those the 3 coyotes. I've seen 1 healer. If they add my build, that's another one, and then everybody else can just be straight up DPS or whoever we're missing. And if they have different specializations, you're gonna see a huge line,
Right.
a huge line
Yeah.
of so many buffs that you're just gonna sit there and you're like, what more can I add? What
Right.
more? It's like what more can I add to everybody to benefit them?
Yeah.
Like I understand there's certain, like I was at one point I was thinking I think I should put Overwatch instead of this because I need it, but the build wouldn't allow me to because then I don't have the main ingredient of the build, which obviously we all know it's a green gear, but it's gonna take a bit. Anyways, I understand there's a lot more. If we can be here all day, but at the same time we can save up for another episode.
That's true.
Talk about something.
This is weekly. This is weekly.
Yeah.
So I want to say I appreciate you for coming on our podcast, Mayhem.
Once again, Mayhem.
Thank you for your comments, your opinions, and your appreciation for builds as well. Also for helping us out, and also in our Discord community. Also, I wanted to say big shout out, to everybody that's watching our streams and also watching our podcast. Thank you for being part of with IGP and also with the gift givers community. If you really want to be a part of this, you can actually go ahead and leave a comment on the bottom section, or you can contact me or Iggy on our social media platforms. Obviously, at mine, you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram. YouTube, not so much. I'm still working on it. But if not, you can contact Iggy on his Iggy if you want to shout it out. You're just gonna
links are down below in the description.
and also
all nice and highlighted.
Yeah, and like always, we're gonna end this with a big piece, right, Iggy?
Right. I say peace.
Appreciate it, Mayhem. And as
Up,
always,
you say go Bucks, man. Nobody.
We say peace.
Peace.
That shit out of here.